Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Nobody's Talking Baseball, featuring Voice of Reason, Steve Mellis, Kevin Pavetta, my Yankee compadre, and the comic relief for the evening, Gerry Ferretti.
I accept my role willingly. We actually have another guest today, who saw our first episode and insisted that he had to become part of this. So
We'll play some Johnny Carson intro music.
okay, well, we'd like to welcome Paul LAUDICANO from Jersey.
Oh no! Oh, it's his worst. It's his worst than having a Mets fan here.
Now that I did not expect.
Boy. Are you a Boston Red
I've
Sox
got to
fan?
say, no, I hate the Red Sox.
Oh, okay.
I bought this shirt. I saw this shirt in Kohl's one day. And it was
In the
on
discount bin.
The clearance rack. It was $6. And
$6.
$6.
Why so much?
for a regular jersey?
That much?
And I said, I gotta buy it.
Speaking
I
of-
gotta bring it to my friends because my friends are all Yankee fans. I said, I gotta wear this.
Yeah, you get a
And
reaction.
I got the reaction I wanted, and tonight I got the reaction.
Did it come with a free camera or
No, but it comes with a bunch of wood for a bonfire that you can burn.
You know what I think we should start with?
What?
I think we should start now. What are you a fan of?
Let me preface this with, when I was 20 years old, my father told me, I was sitting in watching a football game with him, and he said, you know, when you become a real man, you're going to hate sports. Because you're going to watch it, but you're going to hate the players. You're just going to hate it, but you'll watch it. You'll keep watching it. And I was like, what are you, nuts? I loved the Yankees. I was the biggest Yankee fan in the world. And as the years went by, I was like,
They cheat.
I can't believe he's right. I can't stand these guys anymore. I watch the games.
Mm.
I love baseball.
Well, you spoiled rich.
Spoiled rich
Yeah.
players, miserable. You know, it's just everything about them. I just can't stand them anymore. And he was right.
That's an interesting segue to this because I wanted to make this point because we have two Yankee fans here that are the epitome of the obnoxious Yankee fan. Okay, and I this is some of the text messages that,
We are
that I
elite.
had. Wait a minute.
Excellent.
Here's one from Kevin.
Wow.
What are we going to chat about on the show? And he goes, the upcoming year of victory for Yanks.
Yeah,
Right.
Basically a foregone conclusion.
pretty much.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
I said, you know, the obnoxious Yankee fan segment might be longer than the actual show. Steve writes,
Yes.
we are entitled, in capital letters, to a championship.
Yes.
Nothing wrong
They
with
believe
that.
this stuff. Kevin says the Astros are obnoxious. We're just speaking truth.
Right.
Right.
So be it. The Yankee train rolling like the Trump train.
Yeah.
No politics. in that.
Wait, I'm going to get in trouble with that one. God
Yes.
is a Yankee fan.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
This is
Well, he's not an
That's
Angels
true.
fan, that's for sure.
As a Yankee fan, it's basically a birthright to win.
I forgot about those. Those
Yeah,
were good.
This is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wow. you got a lot
So
of-
yeah, this is the kind of stuff I deal with. I've been dealing with for years, and I
you
figured it's a
deal
good
with.
way to start
Right.
the show because it's not your birthright, and
is,
it
it's a
hasn't been for
birthright.
quite a while. The last
it's
time
a
was what
birthright.
the cheating year of 2009.
No.
Well, it wasn't really cheating just
cheating.
because
Well-
A-Rod put steroids.
Well, if we're going to talk about cheating, well, then technically the last championship was 2017, or maybe we could claim last year.
Well,
because we lost to the cheaters. also.
let me clarify something to you. When you win
Right.
because of alleged cheating, you don't
Well,
deserve.
that's never happened.
You don't deserve to win. Like
Right.
the
Like the Astros
Let's
and the
say
Red Sox.
the Astros
Okay.
cheated. They don't really deserve to win, but it doesn't mean that the opponent that lost
True.
now
Right,
deserves to
right.
win.
True.
So you can't count
Well,
2017.
All right, I'm kidding with that because we weren't playing them in the World Series.
Right.
Right.
However,
However,
I just wanted.
I
to
think
admit
that
that
the
on air.
Dodgers,
Yeah.
the Dodgers have legit. I mean, was that a 7-game series? Was that a 6-game
It's
series?
7.
7. And Kershaw, in his 2 home starts, was lights out.
Right.
And I feel bad for that guy. I mean, they were talking about it on the MLB channel how everybody was
Last year.
mocking him and saying
Guys
he's
from the
not so
Rays.
great like everybody claims him because he could never win in the whole thing.
Right.
Well,
And he probably would have won that game and would have won the World Series.
I don't want to bring up anything that embarrass anybody, but I think Kevin might have had dinner and forgot to pull his napkin out of
Yes.
his.
No. For those of you that are watching, if you don't know, see, I'm wearing my shirt from 2017 in memory of the season that was stolen by the Astros
Right.
from us and from the Dodgers.
Right.
And the reason why I have this is that I had a tattoo up here, so I won't be taking my shirt off tonight.
Well, that's good.
In case-
It's either a tattoo or a buzzer.
Speaking of shirts,
The men.
remember this?
That was a great softball team
This
that
was us.
played in the early 90s or late
No.
80s. Late 80s.
Was that long ago?
Yes.
Means you're getting old.
Yes. That's 30 years ago.
Kind of fits. Kind of. I can't really move, but let's. The last show we monopolized all about cheating, so let's try and put the cheating thing to rest.
Yes. Please.
Okay. You just admitted that in 2017, the fact that the Astros cheated doesn't mean the Yankees won. So
Didn't win the.
Oh.
They couldn't because they were in the American
were in-
League.
right.
They couldn't.
It's not a World
Right.
Series. They cheated at the Dodgers, I think.
but now,
That's fair to say.
will you at least take the step to admit that the use of steroids in 2009 could have also altered the outcome of that series?
I think the Yankees could have won the playoffs a lot quicker because most of the other players on other teams use much more than the Yankees. The Yankees have the least steroid abusers in baseball, as far as I'm concerned. All those guys are skinny.
So A-Rod's cheating had nothing to do with helping you.
One guy on the Yankees and
It's not institutional.
the other teams
That's
had
why
many more.
The other players are upset. It's funny, you never see baseball players attack one another, but they're all mad at them because, like I said in my text, they are obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
The fakest, apologies you've ever heard.
Oh,
And
they
it
haven't
was
apologized.
coming from the top down because they had extra cameras positioned and all this different stuff around. So that's it was institutional.
The players around baseball are universal in their hatred of what the Astros did.
And I think the Astros in general, like nobody likes them.
Well, they're kind of
Well,
easy.
you see, Cole. They say he's like the most brilliant guy in baseball, but he knows nothing about what the Astros did.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't there in
But he was there
17.
last year, and
he was
they
there
did it
last year
too.
and he's
Right.
listen.
So,
I said it in the.
But he's a Yankee now,
right. So
he could have
In the last-
murdered
he's not
people.
gonna
Well,
say
yeah,
anything about
yeah,
the
yeah.
Astros.
in the last show, I said how much can you blame the pitchers? Like the bullpen pitchers aren't even in the dugout. You can legitimately say, all right, they're all the way out there. They may legitimately not even know any of that happened.
You are letting people off the hook because they're pitchers. What about the
I-
knowledge of their teammates
Right.
cheating?
They knew.
I'm pretty sure that they knew, but you could make an argument.
If
Listen, they're not
Cole
even in
was
the
a
dugout.
Met right now, you'd be calling
Listen.
him the scum.
Well,
I don't
well,
say
first of all,
nothing,
he wasn't getting advantage of it. He's the pitcher.
But he was on a team that cheated. They
Right.
didn't go, let's not talk
He
about
didn't win anything. He didn't
But
win
in
a title. He doesn't have a
2017,
ring.
so you think that after they won in 2017, they all stopped cheating? 2018
No,
team
I'm
was
not.
an
They
honorable
cheated
year.
I'm
always
sure
will.
they cheated, and I'm pretty sure he knew.
Right.
And that's bad. But what do you do? How far do you go? I mean, how many other ex-teammates that were on the 2017 team played elsewhere after that year and
and
didn't
how
say
many
anything?
games did Cole win in 18?
Not many.
How about
13,
19.
14, 15? I don't know. I don't think he won 19.
no in
I could be wrong.
2019?
Last year?
Because you
And
say
he
the
was
pitcher
20. He won
didn't
20
benefit,
games.
But
All right.
a pitcher can benefit if
Oh,
the
with the
offense
runs,
is
right,
hitting
with the
runs that
runs.
give him victory.
Sure, but
So maybe his $340 million or whatever isn't actually legit. And maybe Cole is
Well,
going
the
to be that
Yankees
great
can
this
afford
year,
it. It's
and
no
you
big deal.
guys are going to be killing yourselves.
so wait a minute. So you're discounting his ERA?
I'm
You
not
think his
discounting
ERA?
it. I'm not discounting it.
His
but I'm
win
saying
total.
his wins.
Well,
yes.
what does it matter? I mean, look at your pitcher, DeGrom. What does he have? 10 wins? How much money did he get?
We all know that DeGrom is the Cy Young 2 years in a row, well deserved, and the Mets had no offense.
10 wins.
The Mets didn't have anybody kicking cans.
The one loss total nowadays doesn't really
Yeah, it's different.
equate to the Cy Young and money. They don't look at that anymore. I
Right.
do, but
Stats,
most of us
stats as a whole, they
Yeah.
mean
they really
nothing.
changed.
They changed.
So
It
I know
doesn't
you
mean
want to
anything.
mock Cole, and you said we weren't going to talk about this cheating nonsense.
Well, we're
anymore.
going to try and put it to rest.
Yeah.
Well,
All right,
if
well-
you want to put it to rest, they should take away the championship.
Okay, should
Uh-oh.
they take
What's
away?
happening?
Should they
They should
take
take it
away?
away.
So my
Yeah,
question
no.
to you is:
Just like in
should they take away
the White
the
Sox.
Yankees championship in 2009 and everybody else's?
No,
or
they
just
all
the Yankees
did
in
steroids.
2009?
Everybody did
How about-
steroids.
How about when did they make
I
steroids
have
illegal?
made this-
1991.
Well, they were banned. They were
In what year?
1991.
All right, so let's take all the championships 1991 and after.
Well, they
And
have
throw them
No,
away.
what they
right
should
now
do.
they say it's the steroid era, so everybody knows.
But that's
every
not
team
good
is
enough.
doing it.
You need to not just call it like it's a period in history. you need to call it a negative connotation.
Well, that's why.
Put an asterisk in the books. Take it out of the
Right.
record books. Yes, I'm okay if they say that every single championship team since '91 until the end of the steroid era, if we're going to put a label on that, if you want to put an asterisk next to all of those champions and say they are not the same as the ones before, including '86, it wasn't banned yet, I'm fine with that. Because the arguments between the guys where it's like this is worse, or I don't care what's worse.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll accept an asterisk next to all the teams, 1991 and after,
Right.
if they take the 2017 Astros and possibly the 2018 Red Sox and remove it completely.
Yes.
Not only,
I'm okay with that.
agree with that. Yeah.
I'm okay
not
with
even
that.
an asterisk, just no championship.
And that,
Right.
that-
And that year was no championship in
Because
baseball.
I think it's worse.
that qualifies the it's worse. But it also makes you admit that the other guys cheated. The other teams cheated.
Every single team.
Every team.
Every team cheated to a certain degree.
But you know, there are a lot of teams where guys didn't know who was cheating.
But don't you acknowledge that the guys kicking the cans have talent? You kick the can,
Sure.
the guy knows what pitch is coming, he hits a home run. He's got talent.
there
Just
are
like
some
the
guys-
steroid user.
There's some guys like this Marisnik, if you saw his splits, were like he was hitting like 400 at home and like 100 on
But
the road.
isn't
It
it-
was awful.
Isn't it worse, even just on a level, if you hit 300 and steroids raise your batting average 20%, what does that go up? 60 points.
Well,
If you hit 200 and your batting average goes up 20%, it only goes up 40%.
All-
So by having the better players, which the better teams had, didn't they actually cheat a little bit worse because they had more to work with? Just like these teams won the championship. There might have been, the Pittsburgh Pirates might have been kicking cans too, but nobody cares because they were bad and the players weren't good.
I'll go with what
And
the players
even
said.
with the knowledge, they were striking out.
I'll go with what the players said. They'll take any day. They'd rather pitch to a team full of
It doesn't
steroid
matter.
guys as opposed to them
That's
knowing
an
what pitches coming.
irrelevant fact.
That's what the pitcher said.
I'm
It doesn't
telling
matter.
you what they said.
It doesn't negate one
It's-
cheating over the other. It just enhances one result as being better.
All right, we're done with the cheating. Number 9. You can
Well,
strike that
we've
off.
solved the problem. now.
Right,
So
that-
we are
okay.
just
17
about to move
17
on.
never worked.
17
It's gone.
doesn't count.
Right.
It's taken away, I mean. And 91 through the end of the steroid era is asterisk and not legitimate.
You could put an
wins.
asterisk on it and write, this was the steroids era.
And it's not a legitimate win like all the other wins.
You
We're
could
letting
say,
it- no,
you
we're
could say
letting
that.
it
It's a
stand,
win,
but
but it's they enhance
It's a
themselves.
win that it has cheating involved.
They won.
But
It
not
wasn't-
cheating
it wasn't
bad enough
cheating, it was
to remove
enhancing.
it.
It's an era where many players on all teams use steroids.
Right. They all cheated.
Some more than others, like the Oakland
Which,
A's. Is
and
it fair to say,
admit
like,
this, right now before we move on, it takes away some level of the legitimacy.
of all the
Of all the
championships?
teams.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I would
Of
say
which
that.
during from 91 till now, the Mets had none. The Yankees had
No.
five.
What
You
about
just-
Piazza?
Well, Piazza was
What
not-
about all of them?
It's
They didn't
not-
win.
Wait. So,
Piazza
so wait,
wasn't on
wait,
steroids
wait.
because he didn't have
You,
roid
you
rage.
just admitted it.
The Mets. Are you?
The Yankees
wait,
dynasty is
When
I want
taken.
Clemens,
You
when
admitted
Clemens
it.
threw the bat, Piazza just took the bat and he didn't
thank
go after
you.
him. If he,
Yeah,
had, if he
we
was doing
all
the
know
roid,
why
he
Piazza
would've
didn't
stabbed
do
him in the
anything.
neck with the bat.
But we know why
But
Piazza
you
didn't
just
do anything.
said you're admitting the
No.
championships
I want a
are
clarification.
tainted.
I want a clarification.
No, I'm
May
sorry.
I have a
We have to go to a
clarification?
commercial break now. We'll be back in a moment.
Did any Mets take steroids? Were there any steroid users on the Mets?
Of course
I
there
don't
were.
know. Probably.
Yeah, there had to be.
Don't say probably.
I don't know. Maybe between 91 and in the steroid era there were, but they didn't win.
That's right.
Because
So you have
steroids-
your team
steroids
doesn't
in
have
and
it.
of itself doesn't mean
There's
you're
no
gonna
punishment.
win.
That's
Exactly.
fine.
Just because you did steroids don't make you
Can we go on to the next topic?
Yeah,
Cross off number
you want
2.
some aspirin?
Give me a hand. He's killing me, Kevin.
Come on, Steve.
All right, we're moving
Bring the
on.
game.
We're moving on.
Predictions. All right, can we talk about your first baseman? That fat load.
Yeah.
That flash in a pan. Listen, what's his name again? What's his name?
Polar Bear, Walrus,
You
Pete
know his
Alonso.
Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
All right. Just like every Mets position player that, this is it. This is the guy. I mean, we can go Greg Jeffries, Lee Mazzilli.
You're
He-
gonna
They went
compare
to the
Alonso
World
His
to
guy-
Jeffries.
quote this.
They went
Pete
to the World
Alonso,
Series.
we're looking at 248, 17 home runs, 53 RBIs. He'll miss about 30, 40 games due to strained buttock muscle. Something really bizarre. And
Well, then he should start shooting up with the steroids now.
Right? And from that moment on, he'll be known as Joe Charbonneau. If you will remember, cover of Sports Illustrated, never to be heard from again.
Your prediction is based 100% on hatred and nothing
No.
else.
No.
You have nothing else to base that on.
58 years of history of the New York Mets. Greg Jeffries, 2.0.
Absolutely not.
I guess we'll find out.
First of all, he's already more a player than Greg Jeffries was. And
One season.
who has the rookie home run record of all time?
Juice balls, big deal.
Yeah.
It's juice
Oh,
balls.
Yeah.
You're
it's terrible.
thinking-
Oh, my God.
Baseball.
They're crying sour grapes.
He hit one more home
I
run.
have to
But they're
say-
okay with juiced players.
Yeah,
By the
right.
way, everybody has juiced balls. And I don't mean that.
Clarify what you're talking about.
Wow.
What do you think? What do you think of the National League getting designated hitter?
Terrible.
Yes.
Yeah, it's about time to stop with the pitcher
it's
setting.
not.
I've had it.
I think it's the
It's
worst
horrific.
thing that they could.
These
I think
American
the,
League
I
people
think the
are killing
American.
me.
I love the
It's not that
growing
important to me.
Growing up, I loved the American League, and then the designated hitter came in, and little by little, I started saying, "This isn't baseball. This is softball. This is what we do on softball. We have an extra fielder,
But every league
You
in
know
the
what?
world-
You know what?
College,
I just
high
hate
baseball.
school,
I
They're
hate
supposed to be
watching
the
these
best player.
pitchers like flail.
Did you hate it?
uselessly at the ball.
Did you hate
But
it?
that's- but-
growing
Or
up in
Ching
the
Ming
70s?
Wong running the bases and blowing out his foot and never
Yep.
being the same.
But did you hate it in the 70s growing up?
You know what? That was early 70s. I really don't remember baseball
If-
without the DH.
the only
I
way
really
I
don't.
would
it was
say-
watching
great
the
without the
National
DH.
League.
It was great.
Only thing I think
Did
they
you-
should.
It's not
with
that
all
much
these
of a
crazy
big deal.
rules is if they are going to hit and they get on base, whether they walk or get a hit, have a pitch runner for them.
No,
Yeah.
you're ruining the game.
No, you can't pay these
You
guys
must play the whole
$30
part of the
million
game.
a year and then have them get hurt.
I
No
think
way.
part of the
all these new
game.
rules have gone too far. The only thing I want is the computerized
If you
strike
pay
zone.
Pitch
guy-
the ball, hit the ball, run
Yes.
the bases. Everybody does it.
You
Not
pay a
one
guy
guy,
$30
oh,
million
I can't
a
do it 'cause he's
year,
like one.
and he can only play 60% of the game. Guess what? He's not worth $30 million a year. You're going to pay him $30 million a year. Let's get that other guy to play the part of the game that he can't play.
Oh, it's like when
That's
I used to play
ridiculous.
here, I need a pinch runner.
Then he's
That's
out of the game.
the
Let's
part of the
bet it
game where
out.
he can't play.
Let's bet it out.
Oh, come on. You're ruining the game.
Then you go into
You took pinch
softball.
runners,
Then
right?
it becomes softball. This is the
we
major
have
leagues
pinch
of
runners because we're
baseball.
old and decrepit and we can't run. And no one's giving us $30 million. They're not even giving us $30. They're not giving us a sandwich.
It's costing us $30 actually.
Right, we got to pay to
You gotta
play.
pay them.
Oh, God. I can't believe you think that.
I don't like
You know,
that.
I think we've had enough rule changes.
Supposed strategy of what? Taking DeGrom out, who's pitching great, no run support because he's on a lousy team for years. Poor guy. He should have like 30
Prediction
more
number
wins.
2,
And-
DeGrom is not winning the Cy Young again.
No, three in a
And
row. No, three in a
Now
row.
you got to take him out in the 6th inning when he could pitch to the 8th inning.
Yeah, but nobody pitches
It's
to the 8th
horrible.
inning anymore.
Right.
That's another
Well,
thing
you
about
do in
baseball.
the National League
It's
'cause it's so
terrible.
easy. The
It's
offenses are
terrible.
horrible.
Baseball's
Oh,
become
my
a terrible
God.
game. These
There's
guys
so
pitch
many-
5 innings, and that's a great start. If they give
Oh,
up 3
that's- yeah, I
runs
know, 4 or 5
in
runs,
5
yeah.
innings, that's a great start now.
Mhm.
Guys used to. Well, I'm much older than you guys, but when these guys used
You're
to
not much
pitch,
older than him.
they pitched to the 9th inning all the time. Then Sparky Lyle would come in.
Yeah,
And then when
but-
he came in, if he did come in when somebody was getting blown
Sparky
out,
would come in the
he'd
7th.
He'd pitch 3 innings.
Yeah.
Goose guy.
And,
Yeah,
and
all
then
those guys
Gossage
did
came
3
in and
innings,
became
yeah.
the star.
I remember Sparky.
Yeah.
Well,
was
now,
good.
what do you think of the rule now where they're changing the relief pitchers where they have to pitch?
Nah, that's ridiculous. Listen, I get it. They try to shorten the game time-wise,
Right.
but now you're
know,
doing it at the expense
You're
of
really
strategy.
messing with the
You
game
know
now.
what made the game longer? My wife came up with this, and I was.
Well, it's the commercials.
No, well, the commercials too. But every at bat between
Yes.
every
That's-
between every
That's
pitch
the number one thing.
between
yeah.
every pitch,
Yeah.
They're stepping out.
they step out and they have to adjust their
Right,
gloves.
right. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous.
No matter what. In the old days, nobody had gloves. They stayed there. 3 pitches, 4
Right.
pitches. they got a hit or
Right.
struck out or whatever they did.
Well,
Now every pitch they step out.
But rather
adjust their
than
glove.
changing,
pitches are bad too.
rather than changing that, they took away intentional walks.
Right.
Come on.
So that's
First of
30
all,
seconds
how
of
many
the game.
intentional walks are there in a game?
They started
Maybe one
in
on
the
average.
leagues.
Maybe two, possibly.
Right, we're letting these guys redress every at bat, but we're going to
They
take away
walk
those
out.
short pitches.
Right.
It's at least 10, 15 seconds
Oh,
every pitch
Yeah.
that the
Right.
guy is out of the box. That's what's making the game last 4 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that because it's manipulating.
Let
the
them
game,
work
but
on that and leave the.
They had like a 20 or 25-second rule they were working on, but
Right.
the players, I guess, squash it because they want to.
They want to go out.
Players
you know what?
union.
It's like, stop, man. Give me
That's
that
like in
hit.
football now. Everybody's got these gloves on.
Yeah,
You can catch the ball with 2 fingers.
right.
If it's not
And
40
everybody's
degrees or
complaining.
under, no gloves.
They keep complaining about baseball being long. I go, average football game now is 3 hours and 25 minutes.
Right.
Basketball goes on forever.
Well, that's because
they don't watch these things.
You
The
used to
fouls and
have
stuff.
2 minutes between
Right.
commercial breaks. It was 2 minutes.
Right.
Now it's
Right.
7 minutes. It's ridiculous. I watch a football game. I'm switching channels all the time because I know I have 6, 7 minutes before
Wow.
the next play's going to start.
Yeah.
All right, now we're arguing about changes, and sometimes change is hard to accept, but then as time goes on, you accept them. Now let's look at like the instant replay, the cameras.
Love it.
Right.
Get it right. I
think it's
like things where you get it right.
We agree on something in baseball.
And the computerized strike zone.
I like it
want
because
it,
some
get
of the
it
calls
right.
at first base were horrific.
Right.
A guy was sliding years ago. It was
Kansas
basically
City
if
and
the
St.
ball
Louis,
beat you to the
the
base,
World Series.
you were out.
Right.
But now where it's becoming ridiculous is that the guy's running full speed. He slides into the bag, and for a millisecond, his finger goes like that. He's like, boop, boop, and the guy, yeah, he's out. I'm like, that's not
Yeah.
the intent of the rule. That's where I think they need.
I didn't mind things like the
Aggressive.
neighborhood play. Like when Willie Randolph
Yeah.
would glide past second base on a double play.
Right.
But
That's fine.
I don't know if I agree with you on the computerized strike zone.
I don't know.
A replay doesn't take away the human element. The umpire is still calling the play. We're rechecking it when another human says there's a problem. To take away the umpire calling balls and strikes and relying on a computer, I'm not with you on that. I don't want.
Look at Greg
What
Maddox.
What if you
He
would
had 6 inches.
Yeah, it
on
was
either
ridiculous.
side.
And that was
Every
wrong.
pitch.
It was wrong. With
But
the
that's
Patriots.
that.
Right.
It's part of the
Called
game.
TrackMan, and as you'll hear from the league's commissioner, Rick White, it's pretty precise.
TrackMan itself uses a Doppler radar system where they have 3 lasers fixed on a point, in this case it's home plate. As a ball crosses the plate, that communication then transmits to the umpire on the field where he hears the word strike or the word ball, and then he signals that.
I was happy the way the old system worked.
Even if there were disagreements on the
Oh,
field?
absolutely. I like the disagreement once in a while.
So when you're watching baseball, myself, like I really get into it. So like I yell at the umpires, I yell at the players, and I feel like I lost that one part where I can't yell at the umpire anymore.
Because he's right all the time.
Because no matter what, he's right.
You know, I've been umpiring for 13 years, and this is the first time that I've had to listen to a machine.
The young pitchers, they don't get it. The veterans, they
But
get.
that's
they
a
get
problem too.
But
Train the
that's-
umpires better and make them do their
But
job right.
that's been baseball.
It's like when Wade Boggs would be
Right.
at the plate, they said, "Oh, he knows the strike zone." So if he wouldn't swing, they would be like, "Oh, it must
It's
be
got
a
to be a
ball."
ball, right?
You know, I want the computerized strike zone because it's fair and it's right. And if it's a strike, it's a strike. If it's a ball, it's a ball. That's the way it should be.
Conceptually, I
'Cause
agree with
imagine losing a World Series over something like that.
But-
it would drive you nuts.
Are they going to adjust it for Judge?
Yeah.
And Ntbb, who's
Right.
5'5".
Altuve's going to have a small strike zone, and Judge is going to have a wide.
remember
That's
when
just
we
the
were
way
kids?
it is.
It was from your knees to the lettering.
Right.
Then it became from your knees to your waist. They never called a high strike.
But I think they're going to shape Altuve as like a garbage can. It's gonna
Yeah. I think that's the two things that affected it. You know, we keep talking about why these guys don't pitch long. I mean, at one point too, like you were saying with the Braves and all that back, the strike zone was like this. It was out
Right,
down
it's
here.
ridiculous.
Right.
Go back to a nice big strike zone. Call it. Don't let them out of the box, and the games will go.
You're predicting the Mets to win.
They
Their
will
division?
be They will be
Wild card?
80 and 82. They won't make it over 5. They won't make it to 500. Not a chance.
They were better than that last year.
They got the
Oh,
Phillies.
And they're a better team.
They had a little fluke going on, so.
Oh, they had a great run at the end. They really did.
End, middle, beginning, the end result.
I don't see it.
You hate them. Take the
They're the
hatred
Mets.
out.
They're the Mets. I think Joe Girardi's going to come in and propel the Phillies above the Mets.
I think what is funny is how the Mets went out and tried to hire the coach who was the progenitor of this cheating.
No surprise.
And it's probably going to help them. It's probably, what's his name, Reyes, the new manager? What's his
Ross.
name?
They wanted to not talk about cheating anymore.
Cheating, right? They're going right
They
to.
can't go. They can't.
And he might actually do a good job and help them.
You said that the Mets went out and tried to get the manager
Beltran.
who did. So you think they deliberately went out to get
They
Beltran?
said,
They
well,
knew he
he's
was
helped,
cheating.
he's helped the Red Sox cheat and win. He helped the Astros cheat and win.
Wasn't he?
Why not
Wasn't
bring
he?
him?
Yankee?
I don't think he was on the Red
He was on the
Sox.
Yankees for a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but he wasn't.
But
5
he
minutes,
didn't
5 minutes,
mention
yeah.
cheating or anything bad when he was a Yankee.
No.
I would like to hear your predictions for the Yankees. How many wins over 100?
Doesn't matter. They
110?
play in the most pathetic division in baseball.
Oh, that's
Pencil them in for winning the division. They're going to win 105 games.
Yeah, I said
60 of them are
104.
going to be against Baltimore.
Baltimore's not a
19,
good
yeah,
team.
getting, what,
You know what I
19
mean.
each.
But the rest are good.
19 against Baltimore.
Yeah.
Tampa's good.
Toronto.
Toronto's good.
Tampa is the team you got to watch out for.
Tampa's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, but
Lost-
you say that
lost
every
some
Tampa
year.
years.
will win 90 games.
Right.
Tampa
They're
can-
not going to threaten you.
can play.
And yeah, you're
Good pitching.
put it this way.
Good bullpen.
You better take that division by a pretty wide margin.
We will.
And not because you're great, and you know
What? No,
that
what?
division is not that good.
It's good.
It's
no,
good.
it's not.
Young,
It
it's
is.
up and coming.
No.
No, you know what? You know what?
They're not
Red
good.
Sox is still there.
The Yankees are a pro team, and they're playing against kids
Well, that's because
they get the
they're so
greatest
much better
players.
than. It's not just the
Right.
regular league East that they're better than.
No,
they're
it's
better than
anybody.
everybody.
Right. But they get all the best all the time. Even when they
And they
trade,
develop the best.
Even when they
Right, so-
trade, when they got Stanton, which
They-
every Yankee fan hates.
I hate
Right.
it too.
Everybody hates him.
'Cause
Everybody
they're
hates him.
They're entitled
But
to
the
greatness.
the guy hits 30 home runs even on his bad year.
When he's healthy.
Right.
When he can
But
play, that's the
when
problem.
he plays. But he hits. He's a very good player.
Oh.
But he's not a machine like Judge.
Giancarlo Stanton, if he's healthy the whole year, will hit 270 with 35 to 40 home runs and driving 100.
And that's not enough
But
for most people. They want more.
No, I think
Not more
that's
than
what
that.
he is. And if he could do that, I'm fine with it. But he's paid as if he's a top 10 in baseball player, and he's not. And I don't even mind him because they trade him. I said, all right, that's fine.
But
if
if
he
he
can
was
stay
on-
in the field, it's fine. But he can't stay in the
If he
field.
stayed on the Marlins,
I'd be fine with it. I wouldn't.
he would have been. He'd still be an all-star.
Well,
Right?
last year he wouldn't have been
Well,
because he
last
only
year
played
he was
18
out. Yeah, he
games.
was out of the
But that's so
season.
typical of
Right.
him. He can't stay in the
Let me
field.
explain
None of these
also.
people.
Gary Sanchez also.
The whole
I'll
team.
explain something to you
All of them.
about Steve. Steve has this little thing when he says the Yankees are going to win. He goes chugga chugga, and it's the
Chugga.
Yankee train. The Yankee train's rolling. Chugga chugga means they're going to win this year.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've been asking him, as a team that won 103 games last year.
Yes.
And now you went and got the most elite pitcher in the game besides DeGrom. So you won 103. You almost won. You only lost in 17 because you were cheated and all this other stuff. Now,
And cheated last
since
year,
you
too.
were
Last year, too, they were
right,
cheated last
since
year.
you were so close and you just
Right.
got the elite player,
Right.
are you willing to chugga? And you know what he said? I'll chugga the division.
Yeah.
Which means
The playoffs are too tough.
which means you know that there's something missing, something lacking.
No.
Because you should be at
No.
least gutsy enough
Listen,
to stick
Gerry,
your neck out.
Jerry, they weren't lacking in 2017. They were cheated out of.
Okay.
Right, yeah, I
So
agree.
then, if they weren't cheated, they would have won. So
Well,
who's
I
the
like to think
team-
that nobody's going to cheat
Right.
them
no
out
one's
of
going to
victory.
cheat now. You have the
I
elite
hope not.
team.
Well, we don't know that.
You have the elite
We don't
team
know
that
that.
won 103 games. Now you got the elite pitcher. Who's going to threaten you?
I don't know, but it's the
I don't see
playoffs.
anybody.
Anything can happen in the playoffs.
But what
they
team are
should
you
win.
afraid of?
I think they're going to win. What
So
team
you,
am I afraid
are
of?
you chugging?
I'm nobody afraid. I'm not afraid of
Oh,
any team in
Tampa's
the
not
American
gonna be
League. We
close.
should be able to beat everybody in the American
It's tough.
League. But the Dodgers, I think, might be a stumbling block. But I think they'll beat them too.
I predict
Oh, but you'll get to the World Series.
you will
They
not
should
get.
We should get to the World
Yeah, they
Series.
should.
Okay, so you're chugging the World
But I'm not
Series.
going to. No. Chugga the division. The division.
It's pathetic.
After that,
Are you going
Why?
to?
I said
Will you
it.
chugga
I'm
chugga?
in. I'm all in.
Will you chugga chugga the first round?
yes.
All right.
Yep. Chugga.
All right. So I say you will not make the World Series again.
All right. Well, I guess so. Will the Mets make it to the playoffs?
Yes.
I hear they're adding like 5 more wild cards so the Mets can make it in this year.
You know.
They I forget what year it was, but they said if they were to add any more playoff teams, like I don't know if it was last year or year before, that would have meant a team below 500
Yes.
in
Well, that's what
baseball
it said.
would have made it into the
Gotta be
playoffs.
like
Football is
basketball,
already there.
football,
No, I don't want it. A team that doesn't make 500 should not be in the playoffs.
I heard they're going to add 5 more playoff teams, but nobody in the American League East is still going to make it.
That's usually not the case.
have-
Usually more playoff teams come out of the
There was a
American
period
League
of time, and you guys are
And
still
it's-
hanging your hat on that.
By the way,
it's
I wanna-
long
East.
gone.
This is all fictitious.
I
You're
want
just making this all
to
up.
strangle the Dodgers once again.
Why?
Because 9 years ago they made that big deal and they saved the Red Sox. They took the 3 players,
Oh, right.
like $200 million in payroll.
Yeah.
Right.
Red Sox rebuild and win championship. What happens this year? Dodgers come in, they take Betts, they take Price.
Yeah, that Betts is
save them
overrated.
another, $100
Betts is a very
million.
good ball player, but he's not. I mean,
No,
he's not
no,
getting
super-
420
no.
million over 12 years.
Yeah,
No
but the
way.
Red Sox
You gotta
winning
come on.
before the curse of the Bambino was over, that was like the worst thing in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
And then the
pretty
Cubs
bad.
winning was like another thing that
I didn't mind that.
I like
you know
seeing
what?
that.
I didn't want it. There's certain
Well, here's
teams
the thing
that
with-
should never win.
This is what I'll say about the Red Sox. Big Pappy and Manny
Yeah,
Ramirez,
yes.
huge juices.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
And without Ramirez
Yep.
and Pappy, they were nothing. That was their entire offense.
Would you say that was cheating?
Those two, their entire team with 2 juicers. The Yankees didn't have. Who are Yankees? Jeter, O'Neill, those skinny guys. Nobody on our team was hitting 50 home runs like those guys. So
When he hit like 36, 38, Big Papi got better.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Well, a lot of those guys, like Barry Bonds, the guy was a Hall of Famer when he was 26.
But
Then all of a sudden he's
this was when
38
it
and he
was
was even better than he was.
cleaned up. Big Papi was, all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
yeah.
bat
So how
speed
was he getting
increased.
away with it?
Well, Manny Ramirez didn't. He finally got
He
caught.
got- yeah.
Papi
More
got
than
caught,
once.
but I think baseball. I think it's like with this thing with the cheating. They want it to they don't.
They love
knew
when these guys have
still-
these stats. They
Right.
love these.
Well, I think he was.
numbers.
And that's what my argument was with the whole cheating thing, is Major League Baseball was in on it.
Oh, without doubt.
Oh, absolutely.
So you can't deny that it was cheating. You're just going to say that they got the blessing of Major League Baseball. This is different with the sign stealing. And the question that I have that nobody seems to be able to answer when I asked them the direct question, you're all on the Astros, we hate the Astros, and Boston was also doing it. By the way, the Yankees started with the Apple Watches, which is a form of this. I don't care what anybody says. It's illegal tampering with
No,
devices.
They
which
were
has been
all
going
doing that.
on,
I understand.
which has been
Right.
going on since the beginning of time. I'm saying if you're going to say they're all doing it with Apple Watches, that's what makes me say it's not so bad when the Astros just went, let's get a different kind of camera. If I can use
No.
this camera, and you're
Wait,
and-
wait,
well,
wait, wait.
if you're going to let somebody use this camera, how can you criticize them if they use a bigger camera? You could say it's bad.
What they were doing with the Apple Watches was they had somebody in the outfield, and when they figured out what the catcher signs were,
Yeah.
once somebody was on second base, they had to wait for somebody to get to second base so the pitcher would change, the catcher would change the signals.
Mhm.
So once they did that, there's somebody in the outfield who were like, I got it figured out. It's the third sign
Right.
is what they're going to throw. So then they would relay a message to somebody on the bench. It's the third sign. So when the Yankee player got to second base, they would say third sign.
And you think
So-
that's okay?
No, it's not. But it's not what the Astros were doing. The
They-
Astros were
Because the Yankees
every single pitch.
The Yankees didn't figure that out.
Well, it wasn't
didn't
just
get to
that.
that
Was,
point.
What makes you
yet.
think that those people that were cheating with the Apple Watches, if they
No.
had thought of the other thing, would
Here's-
have gone, nah, that's
no,
too much.
it's they knew what the pitch selection was. They were just not. They could have done something like that. They chose not to.
Maybe they didn't have the wherewithal to do it. Maybe they didn't have the spot in center field. Maybe they didn't have.
No, they were doing it at home. Maybe they don't know if they were doing it on the road.
But maybe.
But the whole thing was they were just figuring it out.
Well, the
Right,
Dodgers.
Before the guy on
and by
second
the way,
base.
the Astros did it only at home. Maybe you guys were Apple watching
by,
it.
and by the way, all these other players were saying, yeah, we all did stuff like that.
Oh,
But
that's
no,
been
but-
going on since the beginning
But
of
this
baseball.
thing
Right.
with the banging on the can, when you didn't even have a
they
player
had
on second
buzzers
base,
on,
when
too,
the
I
Stealing
mean,
bases were
signs
empty.
has been going on for 100 years,
Right.
and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
The use of technology is the problem.
Well,
You're
right.
excusing the Apple Watches and criticizing the camera. And I think there's a very fine
all
line
of it,
with
all
that.
of it is cheating.
No.
Right. Now, the question I want answered is this thing with the cameras that was investigated on the Houston Astros, who were the ones that the allegation was against. Do you believe there was any other team
Red Sox.
in the history of baseball in the last 20 years, let's say?
I don't know.
Do you
Well,
think
back
there's
in the
anybody
50s,
else? No.
the Giants, they had binoculars.
Right, but I'm not
outside.
saying that. I'm saying since there's
Since
cameras and watches and things that we can sneak, do you think
No.
any other team did this in the last 10
think
years?
we would have heard about it.
There was the guy who came out.
No.
Who was it? Jack, the old pitcher for the White Sox. He said Tony
Jack
La Russa.
McDowell?
Yeah, and them in the White Sox, but that was before they were good. They stunk, so nobody cared. It's like taking
Right.
steroids, like the Mets, but they stunk, so nobody cared.
I'll dig them.
So it's like this. They stunk, but La Russa, and they said in that old ballpark, they would raise a flag. They had like little things. They knew what pitch was coming,
Right.
because of the way it was situated. You could see into the catcher. So yeah, it's probably gone on in some different forms. But this came after baseball came in and said, guys, stop it. No more.
But no
Apple
one's
Watches,
answering my question.
No more whatever.
Do you think
And
another
from the
team
top
Yes,
down.
I agree.
has
Probably.
done what the Astros did?
Probably to some extent,
Yeah.
but I
Right.
think they took it to the next level.
And the one guy who tattled,
Mhm.
again, if that guy didn't tattle, there was a whole bunch of people on that team
Yeah.
that were doing it. Some of those people were going to get traded to other teams
Yeah.
and keep it under their hat,
Yeah, they would have never said anything.
right?
Well, that's like the
what makes
Patriots.
you think
Well, that's what
that,
Cora did.
Yeah.
Cora took it from the Astros, became manager of the Red Sox, started doing it there.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And those are the teams that were winning.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Still had to have talent.
right.
Still had to, win the game. But it definitely helped.
It had a
The Rockies weren't winning. There's nobody tattled on them. But what makes you think there isn't some
Oh,
device
they-
in center field in
Sure,
Colorado?
it probably was.
Which is my reason for saying, let's lay off the Astros right now. They did something that's been going on since the beginning of time. We have no evidence that no other teams weren't doing this, and probably if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck. These weren't the only guys that went, hey, let's use this
But
technology
they did it in the World
readily
Series.
available. And they should pay the price.
Right, yeah.
And that's why I'm saying take away their World Series. But if you take away the World Series based on cheating, you must do something with all the other championships based on cheating. And we just
all right.
established that.
All right, can we make fun of the Mets some more?
I have a question.
You know what?
One
There's
question,
nothing
one
to make
question.
fun
No,
of.
no, wait,
Can-
wait, before I
all
forget
right.
it, because I'm getting old now and I forget stuff.
I want to talk
What do you
about the
guys
man
think
bun.
about the shift in baseball? What do you think?
I hate
Ridiculous.
it.
Hate it, right?
Hate it.
I think
I love it, and I'll
That's
tell you
something that's
why.
gotta go.
I'll tell you why.
It's gotta be a
I hate when they do it, but I love it because it exposes people like Mark Teixeira. It's completely open. Hit the ball the
Right,
other way.
right,
He
right.
couldn't do it. You're
None
paying
of them can.
millions and millions and millions.
These
You're
guys
so
are the
mad.
best. These are the
But
best
you-
players in
They
the
have
world.
some guys that can, and all of them say,
But-
"All right, don't shift against
but
him
very
anymore."
rare. All they have
It
to
is
do is
kinda rare.
fungo.
Yeah,
Just like fungo. Just tap the ball. You get a double.
I
It's a
think
double every time.
I think a lot of them refuse to out of
right,
pride or
because
something.
How stupid are
because
they?
it's stats.
Well,
and
that's
they're gonna
that's,
pay.
that's kind of what ended Mark
You're
Teixeira's
standing
career.
there, and there's nobody. There's a third baseman, and then there's nobody. All you have to do is bang.
Because
Bang.
the sheriff said these guys, I'm paid to hit it over the shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what's wrong with baseball
I
now.
hated him.
No, exactly.
Baseball
Horrible.
stinks in the fact that nobody can bunt.
Right.
But when you
There's
have
no stealing anymore.
Right.
Now
right.
it's just home run, strikeout, home run, strikeout.
Right.
The Yankees, and it's not just the
Right.
Yankees, but there are a lot of delicate flowers. And Severino is a perfect example. This guy can't stay on the mound for the life of him. But, we won 103 ball games without him at all last year. So, and we just added Cole, so I'm not that terribly distraught over it.
Baltimore, Detroit, and Toronto kind of helped you a lot with that. But never mind. How's your pitching staff overall? Like you're starting. How do you
Good.
feel about
I
your starting
think
staff?
Cole is very durable. He'll pitch great. Tanaka is
Hap
always
is gonna
there.
have a comeback. year.
Hap will make his starts. And they have lots of depth. They've got lots
Montgomery's
of guys.
back. They got
Montgomery,
some
Herman.
It doesn't matter who
Lozai-
they pick.
Loaiza.
Is Ramon playing?
He'll be back like in
till,
May or something. He's
Okay.
he's out for 60 games.
But it doesn't matter who the Yankees pitch. They're going to score 8 runs every
They-
game.
They have enough.
That's
They
their-
have
Which will
enough
get them
arms.
overconfident, and they'll enter the first round of the playoffs and lose.
But a lot of these players, especially on the Yankees, Judge, Stanton, Hicks, all these guys like just can't stay in the field, and it's throughout baseball. It's ridiculous.
I predict the Yankees are out in the first round.
You say that every year.
I've been pretty much right.
Not last year.
So you want to make fun of the Mets a little bit more?
You know,
Tell me what part of the Mets team right now
right.
you want to make fun of. Because
All right.
let me preface that by saying Diaz was the problem last year. If Diaz wasn't god-awful, the Mets were in the playoffs. Maybe the World
They
Series.
go to the World Series without him.
And you know it. You know that their
they
staff
would've been
was
in the playoffs.
dangerous in the playoffs.
They had 28 blown games. Horrific.
So
That's
you
why I feel
look at
bad
this
for
team
DeGrom.
and go, you know what? We don't have Wheeler, but we got Stroman. Cespedes. If Cespedes comes back and is any kind of productive,
There's the poster child for.
Well, that's another injury.
right? And
waiting
that's
to
why
happen.
I'm not counting on. I'm looking at the team from last year and
Yeah,
saying
I mean-
all we need is Diaz to find some. I mean, the guy, even when he was terrible, you looked at his stuff and it was there. He just somehow was a
Well,
mental.
you got
case.
Betances. If he can
But
stay
that
healthy,
happens
he
right.
can close games. So.
But
So-
he pitched in, over 52 games. What happens with all these guys? And I think that's going to be a thing in the collective bargaining because a couple guys just went in for, what is that, when they go in for the money.
Arbitration.
And they're losing, and they're like, wait a minute, but I'm getting pitched every day, or I'm an opener, I'm a
Right.
Right.
and they got to change that because that's not right to these guys. You're blowing out their arms.
Well,
You don't care.
I think these
And they gotta change
these
that.
relievers in general have a very, very short shelf life.
Right, because they get used the 1 year.
So
and then
Diaz
the next
may
year
have
they
been
step back. He
burnt
was-
out.
He was shot. Plus,
You know, maybe
The one thing
Betances
is-
was
Because
good
they
for 4 or
pitch
5
every
years.
day. They pitch every day. They warm up every day.
Yeah.
They're constantly in the games. The old
Well-
days, they pitched 1 day. They had 3 days off, 2 days off, and then they came in. They pitched 3 innings.
The relievers
Instead of one.
The relievers used to throw a lot more innings than
Right.
they do
Right.
now.
Right.
Yeah, but now they pitch every single day.
Pretty
These
much.
guys are out there all the time.
Yeah.
And it starts from the from the 6th inning.
You know what I find
They're
funny
right
about the Mets is like that Thor character with the man bun. What is the
Thor
man
Thor
bun?
character.
I
don't know, he wants
He's
a
got a
mullet.
man bun.
Hey, he was in Game of Thrones, so you can't talk bad about
Thor
that.
character.
He threw a spear.
He's got a man bun.
So you picked up who? Porcello and who else? What's the other guy?
Waka.
Waka Waka.
Waka waka waka.
And Porcello. All right.
Who
And you
else
got
is on the
Mats.
rotation?
You got
Mats.
Mats.
Stroman. Mats. DeGrom.
Stroman.
But Mats is another guy.
Hey, you
He's
know
gonna
what?
get hurt.
Arguably the best rotation in baseball.
Oh, how many games is this team gonna win?
92.
Ooh, that's what I.
Are they gonna win the division?
That depends. See, that's the situation here. Is the Mets are improved. They were a good team last year who had a
Nationals.
real relief pitcher problem,
Braves.
but
they were
they're improved now.
Phillies.
The problem is the other teams also improved. I'm aware of that.
Mhm.
Okay. But the Mets are
Cincinnati.
right there with them. It's one of those things where it could be any one of those teams.
Okay,
It really
Yeah,
could.
Atlanta, the Phillies.
Now-
I think the Mets are right there with them.
And
How do you
Washington.
feel about the more, not just this year, but the future of the Mets? Now that you had a savior, you had a billionaire coming in that was going to take over ownership and going to spend all this money
Yep.
and make the Mets a premier franchise,
Right.
Premier. Flagship.
a flagship.
Yep.
You know, now they were finally going to spend the money. It was finally going to
I
happen.
believe something is still going to happen.
And then, poof.
Well, because the Wilpons
Wilpons.
are jerks, but I don't think the
Yo,
Wilpons,
yo, yo,
the
Phil was pulled out
Wilpons
from
don't
underneath
want to
you.
be in this game 5 years from now. They just didn't.
They
They
want more
weren't
money.
willing to do it now for
So-
whatever reason.
Oh, it was
So-
for more money.
But for whatever reason, maybe it was more money, maybe it just wasn't timing right. I don't think they want to be here in 5 years. So something is going to happen, and it could still be this guy. It could be your former cheater.
What if
I mean, your former.
What if Alex Rodriguez
Right.
Oh, that'd be
bought
great.
the Mets with the group? Wouldn't that be great?
Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, would be the owner of the Mets.
She could sing the national
You
anthem
know what?
every day.
If we win,
Yeah. Well,
I don't care.
oh, you have a cheater. You're saying a cheater.
Well, he's
owning
an
your
owner.
team
He's
now.
not playing.
yeah.
Maybe it was
Well,
some,
how do you feel
maybe
about
it was some
Jeter
steroids
being in
they'll
the
win.
National
It's
League
been a-
owning the Marlins?
That's fine.
Oh,
He wasn't
he's not
a
doing a great job over there.
Hey, you know what? The
And he's a Hall of Fame.
What does House say? Everybody lies. The whole world is full of cheaters and liars.
Do you think?
If it's not that cheater who owns the Mets, it's going to be some other cheater who owns the Mets.
Do you think Jeter should have been
Cheater?
a unanimous
Did you,
decision
say,
for the Hall
did
of
you
Fame?
call him cheater?
Jeter.
No.
Should he have been
He wasn't
a unanimous
He wasn't a cheater. He
selection?
was just a phony.
True. That's very good.
Maybe
But he
that's
should
something else.
He was a fake phony fraud.
he was.
He was full of himself.
Still is.
Unanimous? No.
You know what?
Nobody should be unanimous. Rivera, as great as he was, he blew games in the World Series. He blew games in the playoffs.
And he had a 1.7 ERA in the World
but you know what?
Series.
That's playoffs. It's not the World Series. It's the whole playoffs.
That's still phenomenal.
See, they said that was a big thing.
And it was like a full season. If you look at it, his postseason career equated to about a full regular season. And I think he had 2 or maybe 3 blown saves out of God knows how many. And that's against the best teams in the most pressure situations. That's phenomenal.
The reason
But he
why
still lost. But he should not. He should have gotten 98%.
But the reason why I
Babe
don't
Ruth
agree with
didn't
you,
get in.
the reason why I don't agree with you is because I don't think that getting in unanimously should be something that means you're perfect. Lots of players should get in unanimously. What?
But nobody ever has.
Who's the guy who's another thing we need to change? Who's the guy who
clowns.
says Derek Jeter shouldn't be in the Hall of
They
Fame?
should be exposed.
But you know what? If Babe Ruth didn't get in,
You know
how
what?
can anybody be?
I
They
agree.
were wrong back then.
I agree.
If
They were wrong
If you're
back
going to say that, then
If a player is an elite player and everybody goes, "Is this guy be in the Hall of Fame?" Absolutely.
Right.
He should be 100%.
but there's so many
voted for.
guys in the Hall of Fame that shouldn't be there. There's a
True.
lot of players.
Harold
Because the
Baines.
voting system is flawed.
Of course.
But I can say, and it kills me, kills me to say this, so I'm not going to actually say the words,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm thinking.
But
Jeter should have been unanimous.
I'm not going to say the words. I'm just not.
I think
we want it on tape.
Well, what it was the whole the writers had said we want our votes to be public, and I believe it was the Hall of Fame said no, we're not going to allow that to happen. Which I think they should make it public. You should have to defend your vote. Then, if you don't want your vote to be known publicly, then relinquish your vote. Let some other sports writer have it. You have to be able to back up your vote.
What do you think about Larry Walker?
No. He wasn't a Hall of Fame.
That's tough. He's
a tough
more
one.
borderline than Harold Baines. Harold Baines has no business in the Hall of
There's
Fame.
a lot of guys that are right there, but if you're not...
Walker.
Biggio.
If you
Biggio
don't,
should
if
be
you
in the
don't
Hall of
say
Fame.
so-and-so, Hall of Fame, the guy shouldn't be in.
If you have to think about
If
it,
you have
he
to think
should
about
be
it, he
Hall
should
of
not
Fame.
be in.
I agree.
Probably. Yeah, because I know they're looking.
Biggio had 3,000 hits, but I think he was a 270-something lifetime
He
hitter.
played 22 seasons,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, you accumulate.
Right.
Don Sutton, the same thing. He played forever.
Yeah, he was pretty good though.
But
yeah,
he
I
was
see what
never
you're talking
He
about.
was never the best.
You're right.
There was
You're
no
right.
year that he was the best pitcher in baseball.
Right.
Don Sutton, you asked me, is he a Hall of Fame? My initial response is no.
Right.
Is that something we have to adjust? Because you're never going to see a 300-game winner again.
No, that's
Right, so you're going to have to make adjustments.
It'd be hard to see a 20-game winner.
Oh, that's very rare. That's
Look
never
at
gonna
Don
happen.
Mattingly.
Now
Right?
he had
Now,
5
he
of the
got
greatest
hurt,
seasons
but
in
he
baseball.
had 5 years
Right.
that are
But still,
unbelievable.
but still, you
So
asked me,
look
my
at
gut
him,
reaction
and my
is
thing
no.
is, but are we saying all right, Hall of Fame career? So there's
Right.
playing 22 years, compiling stats,
Right.
compared to a
having
guy
5 great years.
that's plays
Right.
12 years, gets injured, but has unbelievable seasons.
right.
Don Mattingly was the best player in baseball for 4 or 5 years,
Yep.
but he just didn't do it long enough. So my
But
gut reaction is no, he's
Then
not.
you have Sandy Koufax.
Right.
He had 4 the
right?
greatest years but that was it.
Yeah,
Cut short, right?
yeah.
He was cut short, and he's in. He was right away. You
They
gotta
were
put him in.
amazing years, though.
Of course.
Right.
But Mattingly was the best first baseman in baseball.
Wow.
He, at that time, he was.
Oh, he's going to try to compare Hernandez.
Hernandez.
Baseball.
Get out of here.
It's like having 2 or 3 extra outfielders in there. Watch this. 3, 5, 4. How many times you ever seen that double play completed? 3, 5, 4.
So now 2 men out, the winning run at second base as we look at it again.
Unbelievable. This is truly an epic affair.
Nice player, but not mad.
Hernandez was great.
Good player.
He was very good.
But not as good as Mattingly, right?
Not those 5 years.
He didn't have the home run numbers.
Right.
He was a
He was
better
a-
player.
He was a
He was
great
a
defensive player.
quintessential defensive player. no one played first base like
what was
Hernandez.
that song?
And he put up really good numbers.
Oh, he was a great.
Donnie was great.
Cardinals, he was great.
Yep.
He
Had a little bit of a cocaine problem and was trouble in the
okay,
clubhouse,
yeah.
and Whitey wanted him out in the worst way.
Yes. Didn't make him a bad person, though.
Yeah.
No, he was all right. He was a nice. He was a nice little player.
Hey, he was on Seinfeld.
And he cleaned up his act.
He was great on Seinfeld.
Hello. Hello? Oh, you don't remember me? No, should I? Yeah, you should. Because I certainly remember you. Let me refresh your memory.
June 14th, 1987. Mets, Phillies. You made a big error, cost the Mets the game. Then you're coming up the parking lot ramp.
You said, nice game, pretty boy.
Imagine
fantastic.
if Sterling was the Met announcer.
Oh,
how much these
What would he be
guys
announcing? He wouldn't have
If
anything
he
to
was
announce.
saying things like
Alonzo.
Right. Could you imagine how much you'd
love
hate
his
him?
home run calls.
Oh,
I
they're
love them.
horrible.
Voight hits one to Detroit.
Oh,
Great. Great. I love it. I giggle when he makes those home run calls. I love it.
Oh, there's a Ford in the Yankees' future. Mike is Ford tough. Back-to-back home runs by Gardner and Ford. Back-to-back in a belly-to-belly. And
I love him. I love John Sterling.
Yeah.
The sound of baseball was Bob Murphy.
Oh.
When he came on.
Drunk.
And Kiner's corner.
Nothing wrong.
It's down to first base. Milner has it. Throws to Buddy Harrelson. One. To first. Double play.
The voice of my childhood is Phil Rizzuto, Frank Messer, Bill White.
Right.
I love those
They
guys.
were great. They were the best.
And to be honest, I really like Michael Kay, David Cohn, Paul O'Neill. I like these guys.
See, Michael Kay, I can't stand.
Yeah, he's
a pompous.
I don't
He's
like
very
him.
pompous.
I
He's
like
getting worse by the day. I like Vince Scully, too.
Paul,
He was the best.
Paul O'Neill, I like.
I like
when
him.
he comes on the couple of games
Right.
that he does. He's very good.
I love Bobby Mercer.
See this article?
He was one of my favorite.
No longer do the Mets' path rely entirely on starting pitching. This is still a stacked rotation led by two-time National League Cy Young Award winner Jacob deGrom, but the Mets also boast one of the game's deepest lineups
Really?
and an improved bullpen.
Lineup?
What lineup?
What a writer he is, isn't he?
The last part, the bullpen will be key. The Mets are hoping for bounce-back years from Edwin
Did
Diaz
you write
and
for
Familia.
Bernie Sanders?
Now, I do believe that Familia is a key. If Familia has to be cut loose early, if he's terrible.
Well, he lost 35 pounds. So.
Betances, Lugo,
Bullpens
they
are a
almost
crapshoot. You never know what
certainly
you're
will
gonna get.
enjoy a
Yeah, every
better
year is
fate
different.
than in 2019.
You think?
Right,
Certainly.
I didn't write this. They almost certainly will enjoy.
It would be hard. It would be very difficult for any bullpen to be as bad.
You said they're going to go
as their
82
team.
and 80. What did they win last year? 80.
No, 80 and 82.
I mean, oh, you said
Yeah,
80.
they-
You think
yeah,
they're
that
below
Yes.
500?
Yes.
Seriously, you think
Yes.
that?
Yes.
If
That's just a
if the
Yankee
Mets
fan, that's
aren't that, can I burn that hat?
No. I like this hat.
If the Mets win 92 games, can I burn that hat?
If they win 100 games, you could burn this hat.
If they win 100 games,
Yeah.
all right. If the Mets make the playoffs,
Regular season.
No.
Regular
That
season.
horrible
if the
division.
Mets make the playoffs,
That ridiculous
are we
show.
renewing
World Series
last
winning
year's
division.
bet?
What was it?
If
No. You had it way too easy.
The Mets have to make the wild card. You have to wear a Met jersey and make your Facebook page a Met jersey and a Met cap for 2
Sure.
weeks.
Okay, that's fine. I'll do that.
Shake on it.
Wait.
If the Mets,
What if the Yankees win the World Series? You have to do the same.
they have to win the World Series in 4 games.
No. No. You said they weren't going to win. You said they're going to be out in the first round. Yankees win the World Series. Yankees win the World Series.
All right.
This is going to be great. I already have you in a
You
Yankee
should
cap.
forget
This is
the
great.
Mets. You should have made him wear this shirt.
Oh,
Right? No, believe me, the Met one.
yes.
It will burn through his skin.
Yeah. I hate the Mets more than the Red Sox. That's for sure.
Be like putting
Oh,
acid on your skin.
please. Now,
Okay.
if the Mets make the playoffs and the Yankees win the World Series, we both have to wear it.
At the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not that we're negated.
Okay, that's
We
fine.
both have to wear
All right,
it.
no, that's fine.
Because
that's fine.
you'll try and get out of it and say, let's just negate it. No.
No, that's fine.
I'll suffer through the Yankee thing to make you wear a Mets.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yes.
I was gonna say I always liked going to Modell's in October because all the Mets stuff was on sale. It was like $5, and I always bought Gerry his Christmas present at that point.
It's in the discount bin.
I gotta let you know a little secret. Your Yankee stuff that I bought, it's always discounted at Walmart after Christmas. That's very funny.
I guarantee
wasn't
you.
hitting a juice
I
baseball.
guarantee you, Judge will have more home runs than. Let's do another bet.
Well,
all right.
Judge will out homer the Fatso first baseman. What's his name again?
Pete something. Pete Snowball.
Fat Pete.
Pete
Snowball.
Alonso.
Pete Alonso.
Pete the home run king, rookie home run king. That's the guy.
Right.
That guy. DeGrom won't win 10 games.
All right. I'll bet you that one. And wait a second. By the way, how many years has Judge been playing?
This is
2017. He was rookie of the year. So
And he hit
2017.
52. And last year he had how many?
28 or something like that.
Really? And the year before? In 18?
Something similar. He had like 27, 28.
Oh, see, I thought
But he didn't play full seasons. He's a
right,
delicate
he's
flower.
a delicate flower too.
Yeah. We don't know about Pete
I
Alonso.
probably should take the bet.
Yeah. I just think Pete Alonso's not that good. Way overrated.
What's the bet on the home runs?
Yeah, that's all.
How about you have to go to, like, Gerry?
I don't want to go to City Field.
Yeah.
Take your wife.
Believe me, I don't want to go to Yankee Stadium. You have to go to City Field with me in a Met shirt. One game.
Vice versa.
Right.
I don't have a Met shirt.
I'll get you one.
I get it.
All right, that's fine. I'll do that.
Excellent.
Vice versa. Covered a lot.
Mets
I think
bad,
we covered a lot of
Yankees
ground.
great. Yankees going to go to the World Series.
What maybe help for you?
I don't want to be cured of anything. I love being a Yankee fan, the fan of the greatest team in sports history. I love having a chance to win every year. I love the feeling of royalty.
They will win the World Series this year. I'm with you. I think.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen,
Wow.
Jim is calling in.
Yeah. Just
I like Jim's got
Jim,
some
say
guts.
say the Mets will win the World Series and go chugga chugga.
World Series, Mets will win, chugga chugga.
All right,
Jimmy chugga chugga.
All
There
right.
we go.
Calling in with a big prediction. Guaranteed.
Wow, I love it.
All right, so we've
He's
got
got
Jim's,
guts.
We've got Jim's prediction. Let's.
Jerry's
everybody-
gotten weak.
What?
He's much more into the Mets than you. You're gone weak
Wait a
and
second.
soft on the Mets.
You have. You're going to win 110 games. You got the best
Yeah.
pitcher in baseball, and you won't even say they'll make it past the well, you said
No,
the
I
first,
said
you said they'll
foregone
get to the second.
conclusion. We're in. We're done.
All right, so Kevin is predicting Yankees in the World Series.
All I know is the
Winning?
Yankees are
Winning.
all on
All right, so we got Jim's prediction: the Mets winning the World Series.
Guaranteed.
Kevin says the Yankees are winning the World Series, guaranteed.
Right.
You say the Yankees are going to make the playoffs and
Win the first round.
win the first round. My prediction is that in your head you think they're going to lose the second round.
Nah.
Go out on a limb?
Hopefully some team won't cheat.
All right, so you're not
Hopefully
confident.
the Yankees won't get hurt. They're delicate flowers. Anything could happen. in the
Well,
playoffs.
considering the cheating is at an all-time low now, it's kind of like,
Wow.
hey, it's like when Taco
knows?
Bell had poison lettuce. Nobody went to Taco Bell. I was like, that's when
Wow.
I'm going because they cleaned all the stores. It was probably the cleanest they've ever been.
Like Chipotle.
Baseball is probably the cleanest it's ever been right now. Cheating is probably going to be at an all-time low, and you've got the best team with the best pitcher.
Best general manager.
And you're still
best
not willing to
ownership.
say they're going to win the World
So
Series.
you admit that Cole's better
Kevin,
than DeGrom.
Best general manager. best
You admit
I
Cole's
salute
better
you.
than
I'm
DeGrom.
impressed with you and
Jerry
sticking
admits
your neck
Cole's
out.
better than DeGrom.
He's a chicken. Replace
That's
Chugga
fine.
Chugga with
Fine, that makes you feel better about yourself. Go right ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
buck.
And you?
I'm gonna say Dodgers, Yankees.
Wow,
Yes.
very good.
It is
You're
time.
saying-
That would be
I'm actually a Met fan.
You know,
but
that'd
I'm
be
saying
huge.
Dodgers, Yankees.
That'd be very telling. The year of the Astros
Yes.
having to pay the price. Hopefully, they don't even make the playoffs.
And the
Two
Red
teams.
Sox.
The Dodgers and the Yanks will finally,
I
get a
can't see the
championship.
Yankees not doing it.
Yeah, that's a great one. I hope that's how it comes. At least one of those teams will get the prize.
And then, in keeping with our new snowflake culture, they should both win.
A participation award.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out and watching our show, and we'll tune back in at the All-Star break, I guess, and we'll see how the season's progressing. I imagine you'll see the Yankees in first place and the Mets probably doing what I said, less than 500. Tune in and watch what happens.
Good job. You are like my Ed McMahon. I think you should start off every show by going, here's Gerry.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Oh, God.
That's a great song. Great song.
No, it's not.
I can't wait for this season.
Oh, this is great. I'm psyched. I'm pumped, baby.
Woo! You know what we should do?
What?
We should do a Nobody's Talking Baseball
Watching the game.
live
Watching the
from
game.
a stadium.
All right.
Good luck.
Listen to that. It's
It's a
Americana.
great song.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of Blue.